What's up, everyone? And we are live for another episode of Spin from the Real. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me, as always, is the personality himself, Chris Anthony Lopez.
We back at it. We
Back
back at
at
it
it.
for some more Spin from the Real, baby.
Ig-
I'm stoked. I'm really excited for this shit.
Ignore this. This is leftover from the other day when we had Winston Marshall on for our Twilight series watch along that we did for charity. Where we raised over $600 for the National Bail Fund. So it was a good day. Good day.
It was awesome. If you want to check out just some of the bits that we did. It's on YouTube, Twitch. They're still up on there. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Winston was on it. We had our boy Colin Morris from the Ultimate Schmodown Show. He was on with us the whole day, to my surprise and to many others. And we had guests from that were involved in the making of the Twilight movies. So it was a lot of fun. We raised almost $700. I don't know the number off the top of my head. I think it was like 680 something, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say it was 685 after.
It was incredible. 12 plus hours of streaming. And it was fantastic. It was absolutely great. This past weekend for Who Are They to me?
I had the number 668 and 75 cents.
668. Okay. See, hell yeah. Like I love that. But this past weekend for Who Are They? We tried a lot of new things out, and I think we really succeeded. Not only with the Twilight stream, but with our boy Nick Mulbach, my co-host for Wrestle Reel. We did a live watch along for Survivor Series. That was a lot of fun as well. And we did Wrestle Real Talk, and hopefully we get to do more of those in the future. But that was a lot of fun to do. So this past weekend for Who Are They? At least for me, I had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
So did I. You and Nick had more energy on Sunday than the rest of us did, though. So
yeah, but I'm on crack. That's why. Like it was. I was tripping. Like that morning was rough. Like the morning after, I'm like, yo, like I'm tired. And a few of us, the night before, we stayed a little bit later after stream, just hanging out, chatting it up, and some of us were enjoying ourselves just a little too much, and I definitely felt that the next morning. So, but I was all right to do Wrestle Real Talk, and I have no regrets, none, absolutely none. But we're back at it for some Spin for the Real, baby. We got some Schmodown to chat about.
Yeah, we got some Schmodown to chat about.
Woo!
Not as much as we had last week, though. I will say I'm kind of thankful for that. As in a week that we should be thankful for a lot of things. Right. But yeah, basically this episode, all I got for you is recaps and talking a little bit about what Christian said yesterday on SCN, which I think that's probably what we should start with. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, let's do it. It was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. So for those who don't, basically said, hey, so going in the next season, we are going to limit the online presence. He basically hinted at the fact that to avoid the online presence, the season may even start late. He said it may start late. If there is an online presence, teams will not be a part of it. He's nixing teams from doing anything online because of how clunky it can be. And we're going to start seeing the return of the storyline and things like that.
It was okay. So I mean, a lot of this isn't new news per se. At least if you heard it straight from the commissioner's mouth. But we just thought it was noteworthy because he also said on top of that we should get an official word come Spectacular in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So on the day of Spectacular, we had a long ass Saturday. They're about to have a long ass Saturday as well.
Yeah.
With that long ass pay-per-view that they're going to have, especially with the digital format. Or in these bigger shows, they're already long, but the fact that we're going to get an announcement towards season 8, that's also pretty interesting. But nixing teams for now, due to the digital format, is not a surprise. Christian has said on multiple occasions that he, and I quote, effing hates teams on the digital format. He hates it. Hate's a strong word, and Christian definitely has a lot of emphasis when he says hate in regards to digital teams. Although he did say has produced some great matches, the digital format, and we've talked about it on this show. What's going on, Taylor? That's the real MVP of the Twilight stream, by the way, Taylor Cleek, the birthday boy, the belated birthday boy from yesterday. But the digital teams has produced some great matches. I will stand by on record saying that the Founding Fathers corruption match from August was but it was nuts. It was, and granted, the digital format made it a little bit longer because it was live. But I mean, by all means, I'll take that over some of the things that we've seen otherwise this season. But at the same time, it's a production nightmare, and I don't blame them for wanting to do this or for going through with it. It sucks as a fan because we don't know. Like COVID-19 and coronavirus is still one big question mark. We don't know what the hell is going to go on come December, come January, February, and like you said, Christian's talked about delaying this season, or at least like postponing the season start due to not wanting to do more digital stuff. Again, totally don't blame him, but it's just like damn. Because now we really don't know when the hell the season's going to properly start. Hopefully we get an answer in the next couple of weeks, especially at Spectacular, or just a ballpark estimation of when the season is going to start. But what that means, at least for us fans, that we might have to wait a little bit longer, and we may be going without teams for a little bit because of the restrictions on coronavirus.
Yeah, and it's something you also hinted at is that the digital format itself may still have a presence going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, to an extent. So I'm wondering if with these players that we have that are spread across the country now, I know Adam Collins lives on the East Coast. Or Laura Kelly lives in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Now we have Dan in Arkansas. Yeah. So, I mean, it only makes sense to a certain point.
Oh, no, it totally does, especially if you want to keep people like Adam, like Dan, shit. You're going to have your singles champ. Whoever comes out of Spectacular is going to be remote, away from Los Angeles, start of season 8. So they have to keep that in mind as well, especially if you want these people around. Like you mentioned, Marisol's not in LA, at least not to my knowledge. Laura Kelly, oh my God, Maura Kanopik, obviously with Dan Murrell is in Arkansas now. And people are, slowly moving away from LA for a variety of different reasons. John Rucka just moved out of LA.
Yeah, but he's at least within driving distance. He'll even bring that up.
Yeah, it's still people are going away from where everything's shot at. Yeah. So having a digital presence it's smart. It's a smart decision to do, a smart business decision. You want to keep these people around, especially names like Dan, like John, like soon to be Adam Collins. Regardless how you feel about him, that man's going to be around in the Shimona for a little bit. So having these people around, it'll be beneficial even more so with the digital format. How much they're around? That's the big question. That's the question we're not going to know until season 8 even starts. But I'm kind of bummed about teams. Like that's what I took away from what Christian said, right? Yeah. Not that he hates teams. Like I totally get it. Like I totally understand why my man does not like doing teams
in the digital format,
and why he doesn't like just straight up the digital format. Not to give any spoilers away. But the Patreon match this week, Christian's even tweeted this out, so I feel comfortable saying it. The Patreon match this week contains some storyline. Yeah. We haven't seen too much of that in the last 8 months. So I'm looking forward to them getting back in the swing of things, storyline-wise. And I've said on the show multiple times, the storylines and the characters are my favorite part of the Schmodown. They're the reason why I'm so invested, the reason why I give a shit, why I give so much of a shit. And the fact that we've lacked that for the last few months, granted the match quality has been stellar. Let me emphasize that. It's been fantastic with this new format. But the fact that we're getting back into storylines, especially this week, gets me really excited for the future. But when that starts, like we could talk about, oh yes, storylines are back. Oh yes, they're still keeping digital around for a little bit longer, or to an extent. But at the same time, we have no idea when that's going to start. And when that starts, if it's February, if it's March, if it's pushing April, I doubt we're going to go into April without any Schmodowns, season 8. But March is where, late February, March is where I'm looking. At least hypothetically, I have nothing to base that on. So,
it's just your prediction. Because normally we start late January. So a later start for Schmodown would probably be a late February.
And that's my guess. And especially if we do get a vaccine for COVID-19, which has been circulating like crazy. The fact that some of us in the country may get it as early as December.
Ohio, December 15th.
There you go. So, and I know that, like, I'll happily, if y'all need people to test this damn vaccine, I'll do it. If that means we get Schmodown back, if that means people can start going to sporting events again, if that means we can start going to concerts again,
If it
I'll
means
sign
Chris
up.
and I can meet up at a live event again.
Exactly. If that means that we can have more Schmodown live events, because even Christian even acknowledged that as well, that the future live events is still up in the air because of what's going on. So the future still, if it's one big question mark. And the second we get a vaccine, if it works and people take it, then we can get that Chicago live event, even though they'll probably start in LA sooner. Well, maybe not. Who knows? But Pittsburgh, Nashville, Atlanta, Chicago, wherever the hell, Houston again. Yeah, like wherever the hell they're going to go back, or if they go to a new joint, sooner rather than later. But I'm not expecting a live event until back half 2021 at the earliest. At the very earliest. Let's get back in studio first and do all that shit. And then we can worry about flying to Chicago for a couple days.
I still maintain that he'll get the most outcome in the Midwest because of the cheaper
Chicago,
city. Baby. Well, no, to me, it's like Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, all these large Midwestern cities.
Yeah.
They're going to be
Minneapolis.
They're some of the cheapest to get to, and they're so central to the country that it's just easier for everybody to go to it. So I still maintain that. For all I know, he may not agree, but.
And if they're trying to, like, you're wearing your Star Celebration shirt, that was the weekend they held the last Chicago event, or the first and only, as of right now, Chicago event.
Largest Schmodown event in its history.
Yes. C2E2 got pushed back to next December. Maybe that's ideal for a Schmodown in Chicago. Do it the same weekend as a convention.
That would be spectacular.
Well, still, you can do something, right? Especially if you're trying to. It's not going to be spectacular, but just doing something fun, right? Just to get the energy back. Because wherever the hell you do a damn live event, you're going to get that. You're going to get the Schmodown faithful. You're going to get the people like us coming in from, like, if it's safe, from around the country, even the world, to go to these events. So hopefully by the back half of next year, we'll get some. We'll be in a better position to actually go out in big crowds. Because trust me, I'm jonesing to go back to a convention. I'm jonesing to go to a concert. I'm jonesing to leave my house without a mask on.
Dude, I've built like 4 or 5 cosplays, or have been working on 4 or 5 cosplays over the length of this quarantine. Trust me, I get it.
Like, we're out here jonesing, and I mean, the Schmodown's future, as of right now, it's gonna happen. When? How? We'll figure that out at Spectacular. We'll have a better idea at Spectacular. But as of right now, I'm anticipating a late February, March start for season 8. And they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to make up for that lost time. They will hit the ground running. And I mean, yes, please. Like, I'm all in. I'm all in.
All right. Well, we got 2 matches to review and 2 matches to preview.
Damn right.
So let's
spoilies ahead for the teams tournament, by the way. If you're not caught up.
But if you're watching, we all know you should be caught up.
Yeah. Watch these matches. They're good. They're all really good in some way, shape, or form.
So last week we had the Founding Fathers versus the Witching Power, and Deception versus Lethal Weapons.
Okay, so I have a decent amount to say about both of these matches.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like to start with?
Let's start off with Deception versus Lethal Weapon.
Let's start off with Deception versus Lethal Weapons. Last week on the show, you had me. Go ahead.
By the way, I was watching the Ultimate Schmodown show last Friday, and Chandler was on, and he's like, "Deception is a horrible name," which I think we all can agree on.
Best, yeah.
And a better name for that team that makes a ton more sense: Disruption. Yeah. Because it rhymes with corruption. It's 2 rookies who have made. It's 2 rookies who have disrupted the balance of the league. It just made sense.
Yeah.
But other than that side note, that match broke my heart.
And okay, so Matt, you had me. It was a Patreon match last week, and I didn't see it until Thursday. Mm-hmm. So Matt, you had me give my 2 cents on it. And I said, I went back and watched this for the sake of this show right now. I said this match, as cliche as it sounds, will solely depend on the wheel. The wheel will kill or support, help, or murder anyone in the Schmodown. Anyone. I don't care who you are. The wheel makes or breaks a match.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we saw during Deception and Lethal Weapons. 1,000,000,000,000%.
When Ethan Irwin isn't confident in his answers, it's just, it's a bad wheel slice.
Exactly, right? And I have this, like, I don't know, some about like what the hell I've been on recently, but I took notes again. I'm back to taking my notes for these shows. So Ethan Irwin and Adam Collins had perfect rounds. And the score after the first round was 15-14. I mean, it's halfway what we expected. And we said on paper, both of these teams are great. Mm-hmm. Even though we've seen Adam Collins and Marisol McKee significantly shorter than Andrew Guy and Ethan Irwin, we've seen great performances out of Collins. He won the damn singles tournament. And Marisol McKee, who had two pretty decent showings in the Shimona for her first two matches. So on paper, they looked fantastic. And that's exactly what we saw for this match. It was 15-14. Ethan and Adam went perfect, right? Fantastic. But then that wheel, that damn second round. And this is, I'm pretty sure, where your heart was broken and mine was subsequently broken not too long afterwards when I watched the match. So Deception goes first because Adam Collins is all about going first. Mm-hmm. And they spin Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, they go 6 for 6, all 12 points.
Easy ass questions.
The questions, I mean, Sam Levine and
compared to what I'm not like compared to what Lethal Weapon had. Like, I'm not gonna lie, mm-hmm. I would have gone 6 for 6, but all the
Harrison Ford questions were asked, and I mean, Sam made this point where it's like every question was from a movie that came out post 1990, and and like if you even like Harrison Ford, if you're a fan of his filmography, odds are you're going to go 6 for 6. And Adam Collins has pulled Harrison Ford before in the Schmodown. In his short history in the Schmodown, he's already pulled Harrison Ford, killed it one time. Of course, he's going to do it again.
And again, that was all Harrison Ford films post 1990.
So Adam Collins and Marisol McKee go 6 for 6. So the score after that's 26-14. All right, great. Like, still within reach, especially with Lethal Weapons having their wheel spin. So they go ahead, spin the wheel. And just to preface this, Andrew Guy he's been like Christian Harloff, where he's like, screw the digital format. I hate the digital format. The digital wheel sucks.
Because he doesn't get to be his boisterous, flamboyant. We don't get his personality on the digital side.
1,000%. And you don't get to control the wheel. Hence why he was so shitty when the Lethal Weapon spun opponent's choice. And I've said on the show
that's all he can spin when it comes to the digital wheel.
I've said on the show multiple times that opponent's choice is the death of you. Odds are you're going to not succeed. You're going to fail if you get opponent's choice. Granted, in the next match we're going to talk about, we have one of the few exceptions. But with this Lethal Weapons match, they got screwed because they were given Hitchcock, another category that Adam Collins is really
strong at.
He's definitely strong at, which to me is extremely impressive. So they don't do so hot. They score about 5 points. They leave a couple of questions up for deception to steal, or actually for disruption to steal. And the score after round 2 was 30-19. Got a knockout in favor of disruption, aka deception. Holy shit. Oh my God. I mean, I knew the match was going to be tough.
You didn't expect it to be that tough.
This was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it may have been tough for the Lethal Weapons, but this was tough to watch as a fan. As a fan of Ethan, as a fan of Andrew, them struggling their way through Hitchcock like that. And you could just tell, like, Andrew's like, well, GD, bro. Yeah, like, this is the worst. They're giving Hitchcock. I know Andrew Guy isn't comfortable in Hitchcock. And neither is Ethan. And Ethan, who is this encyclopedia of movie knowledge, those classic movies just spotty. They're spotty for him. He wasn't confident, as you mentioned. Ethan Irwin, when he's not confident, is scary as hell. As a fan of Ethan Irwin, if you're on the opposite side of the table, or in this case,
I'm ready. Let's pounce. Let's end it.
Yeah, and that's what Adam Collins was like. That's exactly what he was like. Getting those questions. I believe they got 2 questions towards the end that they stole. Bam. Guy and Sam came off as highly unlikely, and we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. I do want to touch on that. But 30-19 was the final KO after the second round. Again, Adam Collins doesn't even need to see a third round. Further adding on to his Rookie of the Year campaign.
He's got it locked up at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's his award to lose, but this man's going to be.
He can lose the next match of the team's tournament and still win Rookie of the Year.
He can lose that spectacular to Dan. And to me, I'm like easy clap.
To me, there's no Rookie of the Year race. It is like Barbarian's the closest thing you get to second place.
But even then.
Then, which, by the way, once again, we're not live next week. We got a pre-recorded episode with the Barbarian himself coming on.
Damn right. Hell yeah. That's going to be a fun show. And we're going to be talking about Spectacular. We're going to be doing previews, predictions, all that jazz. That's next week, though. This week, we're going to talk about Lethal Weapons and Deception/Disruption. And our boy Leo Logan in the chat, he mentioned that Guy and Sam Levine, they were upset, to say the least, about the questions that were asked, how the match played out in its entirety. Nat, we haven't really spoken of this match or their comments post-match, but I'm curious on your 2 cents.
I'm not going to lie. You want to know part of the reason we haven't?
Why?
I was so disappointed in the performance that I turned it off after the score, after it was announced.
Wow. Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah. I was that heartbroken because I was like, ooh, the whole balance of the drama of the Lethal Weapons versus the Founding Fathers, who I had, those were the 2 teams. I'm like, that had me salivating. My spirit was broken.
So just to give a little bit of a recap of what was being said, Andrew Guy, and you can even tell us during the match, he was just ripping on Collins and McKee as characters. Like even in the pre-match after their promos in the beginning, he was like, wow, I'm so excited. Like, I'm so glad. Like, they're so enthusiastic. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he was giving them shit the whole time. And I jumped on the Adam Collins hype train since he beat who did he beat? When he beat Roca, right? I was on the hype train, like hell yeah. And Marisol, I've spoken highly of Marisol on this show as well. But Andrew Guy, right? I've said Andrew's my favorite character in the Schmoedown by far. But at the same time, the lines were definitely blurred between kayfabe and real life. And as a testament to Andrew's character and Andrew as a person, I didn't know if he was legit or not. But from how the competitors reacted to how Marisol reacted, I believe it was on Call to Action or one of the other after shows. That's not us. But Marisol, you're more than welcome to come on. But she made it seem like he was really booty hurt, and that unless they're playing with this storyline, but he was just ripping them a new asshole, talking about how boring they were, how that's the future of the Schmoedown. 2 great characters, and I'm like, fudge, man. I mean, are they Andrew Guy? Are they Ben Bateman? Are they the Outlaw? No, they're not.
I think
they have to do that.
I think that hearing those comments, part of that plays into the frustration of for him at least, of the digital format.
That too.
Because he's sitting here and he who we know is one of the most successful players. He may not always win a singles match, but he's still highly successful. Yes. He does well in that live format. He does well in front of the camera.
Feeds off of the crowd.
And now he can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a part of me agree with his sentiments a little bit. because I've even said that.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I get what he's trying to say. Yeah. Or I get the message that he's conveying. I may not have been a fan of how he said it. If he was legitimate, if he was shooting on them, to use pro wrestling terms, if he was being real, I'm like, okay, you didn't have to do that. But if he was working us, if he was, being in character and they know he was in character, then okay, then fine. But and Sam was just ragging on the questions that were being asked,
and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, because I believe if I'm not mistaken, Sam's season's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way that the usual suspects go out, and no one likes going out like that. No one likes getting knocked out, So,
and let's be frank. Sam has always been the person not to shy away from how he's like you guys in the fan league. He has no issue shying away from questioning a question's validity at a certain point, because a lot of those round 2 questions would normally be like round 1 questions, arguably.
Yeah. You're speaking for the Harrison Ford category.
Yeah, the Harrison Ford questions. And Hitchcock is already...
Those Hitchcock questions are freaking hard.
I was just about to say, Hitchcock in general is probably always a round 2 category, a late round 1 where you can slide in around 2, but
yeah,
it's just...
Hitchcock's a category that if you see it on the wheel, if you didn't put it there,
you're
like, it's like, well, hell no. Seeing that too, right? Because Ethan, he's not for our audio listeners. Our boy Leo Logan said he felt bad for Ethan in the aftermath. I feel bad for Ethan in general, because the factions he's been on this year, the Droogs and the Usual Suspects, did not see too much success. I think he's gonna bounce back hard in season 8 whenever that gets off the ground. I think a good faction should pick him up, or at least build a faction around Ethan Irwin. If you're smart, you're building around Ethan, or if you're Ethan, you're going to an already established faction. But we'll do the hypotheticals for Ethan later.
I would say, honestly, if he's losing Ben, I can see Finstock reaching out to Ethan.
And if it's hypothetically Merle, Roca,
and Roca,
Ethan, I don't even want to think
that's like the Lakers. They didn't retool, they reloaded.
Yeah, that's dynasty potential, brother. But no, the match was hard to watch, especially post match, because and Andrew prematurely left the interview out of frustration, which again I don't blame him for it. I totally
You've done it before too.
I've done that. It's because when you're in it, you're in it, and when things don't go your way, when you think things are against you, or you don't like the way you're playing, or the way the whole system's set up, you're gonna think like, yo, this is you're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna get bothered and leave. So I don't blame him, and I mean, I learn from the best. I watch the best and I learn from the best. Hence why I love Andrew Guy. But now they move on. The Founding Fathers move on to play, or not Founding Fathers, Lethal Weapon. God, they lost. Deception plays the Odd Couple.
Which will air tomorrow, a Thanksgiving treat for you all.
Damn right. And we'll preview that. I'll preview that because Matt.
I'll preview that.
You sure?
You watch it too. Don't even no. We both watched it. We can preview that. It's not like before when it was just one of us who knew the outcome.
Because you don't know how to not spoil things. So
I do know how to not spoil things.
Not with me, but let's move on.
Well, yeah, that's part of the fun. Unless it's movies, I don't spoil it for you. I'll spoil it. That's just me.
So moving on to the match we got Friday, the Founding Fathers versus the Witching Power. Another match that was, like people were looking forward to it. We were looking forward to it. We said if either of the playing teams are going to beat the Founding Fathers, it was going to be the Witching Power. And boy, did they freaking bring it to them.
Yeah, they pushed them to the limit. I will say this was the match I was hoping to see. Because like I said, 1,000%. I wanted to see the Witching Power. Perry and Haley as a team, that's just powerful. You have to argue that Coy has arguably 3 of the best teams. Witching
Shazam,
Power,
Witching Power.
and the what's the, why am I John and
Oh, the Real Rejects.
Real Rejects, thank you, Real Rejects. Because they're one of the most entertaining teams, and when they're on.
Yeah, we saw Intergeek them. They're good competitors. The Real Rejects are good. I don't want to hear any Real Reject slander. I don't. Not in this house.
Because outside of the main teams for each faction, you could say, well, I wouldn't say the Droogs have a real team.
No, Deep 13's they kick ass.
Oh, I forgot about. We haven't seen them in so long. I forgot about them.
And I feel bad for everyone on the Droogs. Just a cursed faction, and the future of whoever that, because Ken, I don't think, did you see that Ken?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna save that for the end, but yeah.
We can say that
Ken, but yeah. Let's see. Tom and Paul flopped.
Yeah.
Ben and Rachel semi-flop.
The Pride. They. Oh, God. Put Ben needs a new tag partner desperately.
Ben's hinted at going elsewhere.
He should.
Swag is swag, so you're not gonna take.
Final Exam kicks ass.
Final Exam kicks ass. You're not gonna take anything away from the Finstock Exchange because that's the founding fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy's got the Odd Couple.
One of the best teams ever.
Yeah, we've for the most part, and then there's corruption has corruption for how long? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. And now deception.
Yeah, now disruption. I'm not calling them deception. Disruption. Chandru won me over with that disruption. I'm like, that makes so much sense. Anyways,
it's probably the first time you've agreed with Chandru on anything.
Yeah.
But no, this match with Witching Power and the Founding Fathers, it was really good. Like, it was genuinely a good match. But the thing I will say about it is that it shouldn't have been. The Founding Fathers should have stopped. If you're coming in as the Founding Fathers, you want to be nice because those are your friends. They're nice people, and you want to have a good match. And Dan was even being nice about it after the match. He was like, "Oh, I wanted a challenge." No, you didn't. You want to stop so you can progress and show your dominance going forward. At least about the Founding Fathers.
Roka missing the Moana question in round 1 broke my heart.
That's what ended his perfect round. He was going to get that 9th question that he missed Moana, and I'm like, bro, what?
What animated Disney film did Lin-Manuel Miranda write music for? He won it. He won an Oscar. He was nominated for an Oscar. He didn't win it, unfortunately. La La Land.
Oh, good.
No.
City of Stars is the bot. I watched that movie again earlier today. That's kind of day I'm having. But no. Okay, so again, I got my notes. Round 1, no perfects. As you mentioned, John Roca missed that Moana.
I forget what Dan missed.
Dan missed. Oh God, there was a question. Oh, it's the Rebecca Hall question.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, oh, Rebecca Hall, and Dan couldn't pull it, so I can say like.
But I will admit that is a harder MCU question. I can admit to that.
Yeah, and it is a little. It's a toughie because like it's a supporting character in Iron Man 3 of all movies.
One of the most forgettable MCU movies ever.
Well, this is not the show to talk about that. So no perfects. The score was 14-12 in favor of the Founding Fathers. So 2-point lead. I mean, you expect the Founding Fathers to go up or be up in this situation, but then freaking second round comes, and again, second round makes or breaks a match. Witching Power spins first. They spin opponent's choice. Oh snap!
Kurt Russell.
Snap. Yeah, Kurt Russell. They were given 80s because they spun away from 80s. They got opponent's choice. They're like, well, might as well give them 80s. And they do all right. Yeah. They do pretty all right in 80s. To the Founding Fathers' mistake, they gave the Witching Power a decent category. Granted, they didn't know the questions. The questions were still pretty meh. 19-15 in favor of the Witching Power going into the Founding Fathers' wheel spin. Founding Fathers, they spin Denzel Washington to begin. Which can be a toughie. Denzel Washington can totally be a toughie. Especially the category's been spun a few times in the Schmodown. You're going to get more deep cutty with the questions. So spin away for good reason, in my opinion. And they get Inner Geekdom. Okay, Inner Geekdom's a fun category for a lot of
and
people.
a category you expect Dan, someone who earlier this year was studying to join the IG League.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely did the heavy lifting for Inner Geekdom in their second round wheel spin. Because obviously they had to keep it because they spun away from Denzel Washington, and they let the Witching Power get a steal. So both teams traded a steal opportunity, and they were both successful, both multiple choice. And I wore my Peach shirt because of the question I was asked. The question that Witching Power stole from the Founding Fathers, for those who don't know, was what was the apartment complex in Dread 2012 called? And I love that movie. I love Dread. And I'm like, yeah, Peachtree. That like it just rolls off the tongue. So I wore my Peach.
See, I'm not gonna lie. That one I was torn between peach trees and apple orchards.
I mean, if anything,
because I love Dread, but I've seen it twice. I love Dread, but I've only seen it twice.
Rules. Rules. If you haven't seen Dread 2012. Like, don't pause this. But when we're done with this, go watch Dread. That movie rules. It rules. I
may have picked it up on 4K.
As you should. The movie rules. Like, that's the next post. Like, I need to get a because Avengers came out the same year, and Dread, no one went to go see it. Poorly marketed, bombed at the box office. Carl Urban deserves better. But yes, they give a point up to Perry and Haley, the Witching Power. They get that question correctly. The score at the end of round 2 was 23-20 in favor of the Founding Fathers. So we get to round 3. Round 3, this is where things get interesting, honestly. Perry hits her 2-point. She hits a 2-point question for the Witching Power. It was in the category of directors. It was about Planet of the Apes and Matt Reeves. She nails it. Haley then hits her thrillers question. It was a question about Sicario. She hits that. Goes back to the Founding Fathers. Dan hits the sci-fi question. John hits the 3 for comedies. He nails the comedies question. Then the Witching Power has to hit their 5 because now they're down 28-25. They need to hit their 5 to send it back to the Founding Fathers, put the pressure on them. And they got new releases, and everyone was like, oh, shit. Because obviously they're both movie reviewers. So they've seen a lot of things. But the question was plot specific. To a movie. They weren't given the title. They had to guess the title of the movie. They were looking for The Hustle, I think it was. Yes. And they incorrectly guessed the movie.
And to their point, everyone forgot The Hustle.
I forgot The Hustle. I was grinding my brain. I'm like, what the hell? Medusa? And I forgot The Hustle even existed. So, again, a testament. Even though I saw that trailer a bunch in the theater. The final score in favor of the Founding Fathers was 28-25. They move on to face the final exam. But as I mentioned at the top, this match should not have been this close. Nope. It should not have been.
And they'll need to bring it this Friday for that match. I'm just saying.
So the 4 remaining teams in this tournament, they all have potential of going perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So we need, if you're any of these 4 teams, you need to think to yourself, we need to go perfect. We cannot miss a single question, give up 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 5 point. No, that's not a thing. You need to nail every single one of your questions because now that performance, that Founding Fathers just had, you lose the final exam.
Yep.
You will lose the final exam. And I know we'll preview the match in a second in its entirety, but the Founding Fathers, they played extremely well. They played really well. But in this new league that the Schmodown is, really well doesn't cut it. You need to play really damn good. You need to be perfect. And I expected Dan and John to put on a barn burner, and they did a really good job. We got the bare minimum out of Roca and Dan. But it's the questions, missing the Iron Man question, missing the Moana question, those Inner Geekdom questions going to multiple choice. Granted, yeah, John Roca isn't the most capable or comparable in Inner Geekdom, but Merle has been studying for a while.
Judy Greer. That's all I got to say when it comes to John Roca and Inner Geekdom. Judy Greer.
Exactly.
Best spin.
So you need to be really damn good, especially if you're going to play against a team like Final Exam. But if this says anything, the real winner, in my opinion, of this match going forward are the Witching Power.
Yeah.
The Witching Power are a kick-ass team. They prove that they can be really damn dominant. And I think for free agency, if you're a manager and you're looking for a solid team that could get better, the Witching Power is their way to go. If you can't get a Founding Fathers, you're not going to pry a Odd Couple away from Roxy. Corruption, we don't know the future of that team. We've talked about that many times on this show. If you're not going to be able to get a Final Exam or a team's friendly player like Andrew Guy or Ethan Irwin or anyone else like that, then the Witching Power, don't sleep. Don't sleep on the Witching Power. Like, they only lost by 3. One question. They nailed that hustle question. They sent it back to the Founding Fathers to possibly win the damn match, which would have rocked everyone's world. So
now here's the big fear when it comes to the Witching Power staying together. Harry's possibly played herself into being one of the players approached about being a protected player. She's played that great ever since she joined via free agency.
Her playing against Mike in the singles tournament, her performance in the teams tournament, like, Perry's back. She's back. 1,000%.
This isn't the same Perry we had before. This is a Perry who finally understands the Schmodown.
Yep.
And is really buying into it.
Yes, 1,000,000,000,000%. Like, and we saw like, she's getting better with her gameplay, not just the answering the questions part, but the gameplay portion, knowing the rules. And Perry's she's sounding like a seasoned Schmodown player.
Yep.
And Perry Nemiroff, if the Witching Power is going to be picked up as a collective to be protected, Perry is the more sought after player, and I believe you'll probably agree with me on that. But if I'm Haley, I'm rocking with Perry, and if I'm Perry, Haley's not a bad teammate either. No. Haley's underrated. She's not like S tier, but she's still underrated as a competitor.
You just got to hope that somebody else doesn't pick her up. That's all. That's really all it boils down to.
And if I'm Coy, like, it sucks that the Witching Power season's over. If I'm him, I wish I had them for longer. I got to utilize them longer. But circumstance, and now Coy, pressure's on, baby. You got one spot, because let's be real, you're keeping Shazam. You got one spot.
Yeah, and this officially knocks Coy out of contention to finish number 1. It is now a 3-team race, realistically a 2-team race, because Founding Fathers has to go virtually perfect with knockouts. Or excuse me, not Founding Fathers. Finstock Exchange has to go perfect with knockouts the rest of the way.
It's going to be interesting. The last couple weeks. We got a couple more weeks left.
Yeah, and this tomorrow is a really big match for Swag, and they're not even playing.
Yeah, because it's the Rock Stars with the Odd Couple against Disruption with Corruption. So, look, I've said on the show last week that I've said on the show multiple times. Deception on paper, they could beat anybody. They beat the shit out of the Lethal Weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not only are our brackets busted, but
half of it. Literally, only one corner of our bracket got busted.
And we'll see. We'll talk about Friday in a second, because then we're out of it, brother. But so now Disruption's facing off against Deception for those at home. They're facing off against the Odd Couple, and we both had the Lethal Weapons beating the Odd Couple. So, nah. So now
in typical fashion, you have to pick who you're going with now. I am going to go with the Odd Couple, because we've seen with Schneider, when you beat him, he wants revenge, and he comes back a completely different player. He did it to Oyama. He's done it to Roka. I don't think Roka's ever beat him though, but Roka's
never beaten Snyder in teams, I believe.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I knew not in teams. I couldn't remember if in singles. But anyways,
have they played each other in singles?
Maybe like once or twice. Like it hasn't been a lot.
I know in teams, to my knowledge, Snyder has not lost to Roca in teams. Yeah. To my knowledge,
that would be 100% correct. That is 100% correct.
Okay.
I just can't remember if they played if they've played each other in singles or not.
Yeah.
If the odd couple gets past deception, then I depending on how it's done, I honestly feel they may have to be the favorites going forward.
I'll do you one better. The winner of this right side has to be considered the favorite. I'll go as far as saying that. Because let's be real. Deception, right? Yeah, people thought they were going to be good. There's no one that thought they were going to be not good. If you did think they were not going to be good, then you're tripping.
I don't know how I feel about that prediction for this one reason. So, yes, the Lethal Weapons were a proven team of proven players, but them as a team themselves weren't proven.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, Snyder beat Roca in 2018. That's what I thought.
Thank you, Leo Logan.
Because that's not a proven team, I'm not gonna say if they beat the odd couple, then maybe. But then again, it also depends on who's coming out on that other side. If it's Dan and Roca go and play pissed.
So you're telling me that you just said the odd couple is the favorite if they beat Deception, right? You said they had to be classified as the favorite. So you're telling me that if Disruption beats the odd couple, they can't be considered as the favorite?
You forgot my caveat to what I said about the odd couple beating Disruption. Because of Jeff Snyder and how he'll have that drive in him. If he probably wants revenge against Adam Collins.
He has to. He just
fucking I know, but let me finish. He's never beat Dan Merle. And then there's the Roca, and then there's this thing with his stuff with Roca. That's why I said that. That what those people do to Jeff Snyder is why I say that. It's not the same, not two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? I'm not.
I mean,
mine is contingent on one specific person.
And mine is contingent on the both of them as a team and the fact that they just beat the shit out of two of the best players in singles and teams.
I know, and that's why I was more so clearing up what I said, because I 100% get what you said. That's a reasonable assessment. My assessment is just more so based off of how one player does when it comes to playing against people that beat them.
And we and as I mentioned, all four of the remaining teams can be. If you could come on the show like this and say, Chris, Matt, the final exam are the favorites to win the tournament, and here's why. And you'll have a kick-ass argument to explain yourself. And the same thing could be said for all three of the remaining teams that are not final exam, because I just used them as an example. But all the four teams that are left can be classified as a favorite for one way or another. But like since we're talking about Deception, Disruption, and Odd Couple, right? To me, if Deception beats the Odd Couple, I'm like, holy God, man! Like, are you kidding me? Because that's four. Ethan, Andrew, and Draco Snyder. Are you kidding me? These two rooks that just showed up 2 months ago or 3 months ago, like that is insane. That's insanity. But at the same time, if you're the Odd Couple, yes. Snyder just lost to Adam Collins in the singles tournament.
Never beat Dan Merle.
Mark and
Draco, Roca have their history.
Mark and Draco probably wants a piece of Adam Collins because of what he just did to his teammate in the singles tournament.
And he didn't get to prove himself against Adam Collins in the singles tournament because look.
Exactly. Because our boy lost to Brendan Meyer. So, I mean, I am – this matchup on paper – is going to be insane to watch. Drops tomorrow to the public. Either way, whoever comes out as the victor, holy shit. In this final, the team's final is going to be good AF because whoever comes out of Odd Couple Disruption has to play Final Exam Founding Fathers winner.
Yeah.
And this match, this one right here, is going to be, I mean, we just said it, right? We could be talking about the winner of this wins the damn thing and runs into the wall that is Shazam. That's another thing we got to take into consideration. Shazam's the damn champs. That ain't no slouch. That ain't your mama's Schmodown tag team. Like they're on crack. Like those two, like Brendan Meyer and William Bibiani are just something else. And whoever comes out of this tournament, good effing luck.
Yeah.
But in regards to Founding Fathers and Final Exam, based on what I've seen in the first round of this tournament, just by a hair, maybe a question, am I leaning towards the Final Exam even though I had Founding Fathers from the jump?
You're kind of feeling the same way I'm feeling because I was with Founding Fathers from the jump, but that Witching Power match scared me. I'm still gonna ride with the Founding Fathers.
My prediction still stands.
Yes, but am I more afraid of what can happen now because of that? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yo.
Winston has had his teams prepared. He's had his players prepared all season long.
Yeah. If it ain't Chandru, Final Exam, they've been those three guys are the pillars of swag. A lot of the success this year has come from those three people.
Yeah.
And in a variety of divisions. But like Final Exam, my God. Oh my God.
My big
ass off
question
against
mark.
Simon Paul.
My big question mark is what Lon Harris are we going to get? Because that's the make or break. Yeah. John Roca or Dan can have an off game, one of them, and they both had an off game in the Witching Power match, and they still won. But one of them can get away with an off game, and still possibly win. If Lon has an off game, it's game over.
Because we know Paul's going to bring it. Because what the hell else do we expect?
But the last time
is a gem. It's a gem, Paulo Yama.
Yeah. The last time Final Exam lost, Lon was the weaker link. The last time Lon lost himself, he just put up a dud in the singles tournament.
Nah, I don't even want to talk about that match. That match was sad to watch.
But you see my point. Founding Fathers only needs one person to be on. Final Exam needs both.
Yes. And what we saw with Tom and Paul in their first round match, Final Exam, of course, both of them were on it. They brought the heat. And honestly, I think that loss.
They played Shazam too.
You're right. But Shazam's a wall, as I mentioned. Shazam's tough.
You want to tell me the Founding Fathers aren't the same?
That's the best. I
agree with you.
Yeah, and I mean, as of right now, yes, I'm still rocking with my finals prediction on the left side. I like to think that Matt and I nailed the left side of the board. Right side, not so much. But it's hard for me to pick, and it's hard to not think that Final Exam is going to beat them due to their performances in the first round matchups. I know the wheel's going to play a factor. Like you said, what Harris are we going to get? Because we know what we're getting out of Dan. We know what we're getting out of John. And we know what we're getting out of Paul. Lon is the odd man out in this situation. He's the big question mark. Depending on, excuse me, if Final Exam wins on Friday, it's because of Lon Harris. And if Final Exam loses on Friday, odds are it's because of Lon Harris. I'm not that he's bad.
No.
Not that he's even like all right. He's a good competitor. He's a really good competitor.
Yeah, but the difference is we've seen more off games out of him than we have off games out of Paul. The only time I've seen an off game out of Paul is the championship match last December. That's the only time I've seen an off game out of Paul. Other than that, he's right there.
Paulo Yama I would go as far as excuse me. I would go as far as saying Oyama, Merle, and Roca. They're S tier.
Yes.
When we rank, they're S tier. Yes, Paul's been in this league significantly for a shorter amount of time than Dan and Roca, but Paul's still S tier in my opinion.
He's held a belt, a singles belt nonetheless.
Held the belt by his lonesome, joined a team, kicked the team's division's ass for a majority of the year until he ran into a wall, as I mentioned with Shazam. And he's even had some single success this year. Paul Oyama's had one great year. Although he has not been draped in any gold this year, has had himself a kick-ass year, 1,000%. Lon Harris is the deciding factor on Friday. If we get, I don't know, if we get the Harris that played with Paul against Tom and Paul, we may see a final exam
upset.
Jump. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's an upset. I would just go. They were the better team that day because they could play a best of 3, and the Founding Fathers could win in the next 2. But that day, it was in favor of the final exam. I agree with you. I agree with Leo Logan, our boy. I'm also going to pick the Founding Fathers. Not that I think Lon's going to have a bad game. I just think Dan and John just have to bring it and have to learn from their mistakes with this witching power match. Their little mistakes that they made, legitimately the smallest, tiniest mistakes. So I'm gonna rock with Founding Fathers. But both these matches that we're getting tomorrow for the public and Friday for all of us, it's gonna be nuts to say the least. It's gonna be insane. Yeah. And this could be some of the best Schmodown play we see all year. Because Christian may hate the teams in digital, but they've produced some of the best matches I've seen this year, in my opinion.
Without a single doubt, they have. All right, and the last thing we got to talk about is Ken's retiring from the Schmodown.
Yeah, out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know,
I mean, is it really out of nowhere? Because we've all kind of had that sense of it all season long. I mean, you sensed he's not in it as much as he wanted to be. And
how he did it was shocked to me, right? So for those who don't know what we're talking about, there's a Facebook post in the Facebook Schmodown group, which if you're not in it, go ahead and be a part of it. It's not that bad. It can be bad sometimes. But someone asked about the Droogs and the future of the Droogs and if Ken was coming back. And Ken, straight up himself, said, did this out of a favor for a friend. I'm retiring. It was fun. Deuces. And we're all like, that's how we're going to do it? Hence why I think this came out of nowhere. Because to me, Ken's departure, that's something that, and maybe it's his decision. To me, it's like a Makuga. If this is it for Ken, he deserved a hero send-off, like how Makuga did.
Well, I'm pretty sure the Droogs might do the Droogs have a match with Spectacular? I think they might have one. No, they don't. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. No, they're done. So I think my boy deserved a hero send-off, honestly. Maybe it's Christian's way to try to finesse Ken back into the Schmodown later. But wow.
You have to wonder if with him retiring, I know a lot of people are saying the Yodi Award this year should go to Nerd Chronic, but now that we've lost Makuga technically, and we've lost Ken, I kind of feel like it should go to one of them because of what they've meant to the Schmodown this entire time.
No, yeah, and I haven't seen the Nerd Chronic prediction for the Yodi Award, which I mean, Nerd Chronic, hopefully my man sticks around. He can win it later. Nerd Chronic, you'll get your due later, homie, because you do deserve it, 1,000%. Them promos kick ass. I saw some people say Smets.
Smets is a good one
coming back. Smets is coming back. I don't know what y'all talking about. He'll be back, 1,000%, and I can't wait for him to do it and play Shandrew, hopefully, if the stars align. But this year, Makuga or Ken, to me, those are my front runners. Makuga edging out Ken just a little bit because I think Ken might come back. But it was weird, right? And when Ken said he was done on a Facebook comment of all things, I'm like, damn, dude, like as I mentioned, you deserve a hero send-off because he was in it from the OG season, right? Like that
Ponytail Ken.
Yeah, like that match against Katie Sackhoff. I believe it was the first ever movie trivia Schmodown match. Was him and Katie Sackhoff. Like that match is funny as hell to watch in hindsight. He was in the OG Lions Den. They were running rampant on the Schmodown for a while. Nerds Watch with Rachel Cushing. Without Ken, Rachel isn't slingshotted into superstardom. Ken was a huge part of Rachel Cushing's rise to the top, 1,000%. Like when Ken ditched her in that tag match and she did that handicap, like to me,
that was when the star was born. That was when her star was completely born.
Yes, 1,000%. Like so, without Ken, Rachel isn't as big, or at least it takes her a little bit longer to get to that superstar Mount Schmomore or Mount Rushmore status, right? And Ken, he cut one of my favorite promos of this year. Him doing his best broken Matt Hardy impression for the Star Wars tournament in June. Like that was an incredible promo, one of my favorites of the year, if not my favorite promo of this year. Ken's always been consistent. We always knew what we're going to get out of Ken. He wasn't the best competitor, and he would be the first person to tell you that. But my man was great on the mic. He brought it every single time. Ken's important to the Schmodown, the history of the Schmodown. Like I said, one of the first matches, if not the first match ever. So you just have to keep that in consideration. Ken, man, you deserved to go out on a better note than a Facebook comment. And if us talking about it on this show is it, then by all means. But Ken Knapsack, to me, like damn, like my man, you gotta give that man a 10-bell salute. Like we really gotta, like he deserved a better send off. And I hope they give that to him by the time the season ends proper.
Yeah. Even if it's just something at the draft of the awards, something.
Yeah. Or give him the damn Yodi award, like you said. Yep. Like if that's the case, then okay. If it's Makuga, give it to the Afternoons. Give it to them as a duo. Like they're both awfully important, and I bet they wouldn't mind sharing the damn thing because they're both just as synonymous with each other as they are with the Schmodown. So their paths may not have crossed in the Schmodown that much, but they both came up and did really important things for the Schmodown's history. Those are OGs, season oneers, some crazy ass and infamous and famous moments in the Schmodown. And if they get the Yodi Award, the co-Yodi Award recipients, that's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it. So I hope they give it to them both. In a perfect world, it's the both of them. It's the Afternoons, brother.
Yeah. But with that, we've pulled off a Mall Block minute.
Woo!
Yeah, that's all we got for today. There wasn't a lot to talk about. We'll have a lot to talk about next week. We'll be doing our Spectacular 5 preview with the Barbarian himself, while also doing a quick recap of this week's matches that are tomorrow and Friday. Yeah,
we can talk team tournament final with Barbarian, and I want his 2 cents.
Yeah,
I want my man's 2 cents.
Yeah, all right, but yeah, that's what we got for you. Just remember, we also have a ton of amazing content on Who Are They Real Entertainment. We got Wrestle Real. I don't know if you guys are doing an episode this week. Has that been decided?
We're still up in the air on it. We plan on it. We do plan on it.
Okay.
So as of right now,
is it probably going to be like a Saturday episode then? Because I know we have Really Scared going live Friday instead of Thursday this week. They're doing their Black Friday episode, and they got that going on. So,
I mean, that Really Scared news is news to me. That's a conversation that all of us here at Who Are They are going to have. But we'll see. Nick and I may have to do an abbreviated show, but I know him and I, we're going to finish our Undertaker bracket. For those who've been following Wrestle Reel, first of all, thank you. Second off, WWE released an Undertaker Greatest Matches bracket, and Nick and I have been filling that out. And we want to finish that. And we'll probably do some more Undertaker-related things because our boy just had his greatest send-off at Survivor Series this past Sunday. And we got to see that, our reactions on the channel. So, yeah, I mean, we'll chat. Follow us, our social. Follow me on the socials. Follow us, Who Are They Real Entertainment, on the socials for updates on Wrestle Reel. But if you do get it, it'll be right before Really Scared.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, I think that's it. So signing off. I'm Matt.
I am the personality, Chris Anthony Lopez. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Be safe
Thanksgiving.
tomorrow. Be safe. Social distance if you have to. Don't get in too large of a gathering. We want Schmodown live events.
Yes.
And if more coronavirus cases pop up because of these holidays, then don't expect live events till 2022.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that's it from us. And remember, always spin from the wheel or spin from the reel.